Welcome to another episode on the channel. In today's video, let's see if we can get the Beetle to actually stop. Let's continue on with the brakes. We know the master cylinder is bad since it was leaking into the cabin. So I've already disconnected the lines to the master cylinder under the car. That drained the reservoir. So now I need to pull all the wheels off of it. I know this one is dragging, but the other ones are rolling freely. But just from it sitting for so long and considering the master cylinder is leaking, the wheel cylinders could be leaking from sitting. I may have to replace some of those, but I won't know until we get the drums off of it. And we'll check the shoes and everything else to make sure that stuff is okay. The hard brake lines, except for the one spot that I had to replace on the floor, everything else looks perfect. So hard lines should be fine. I'll inspect the rubber brake lines. Some of those looked a little suspicious when I was under the car previously, but we'll check all that stuff out, get brake parts ordered. I've got the 4 drums off, and it actually wasn't bad. So this was the only one that was more challenging. It was dragging a little bit. The adjusters were frozen, so I couldn't get the shoes in very far. So I just had to come in on the back side. On the back side of this lip, I was able to come in with a large punch and a hammer and just start tapping it, turn it a little bit, tap it some more, turn it, tap it, and I was able to work it off without too much trouble. So this is what's nice about a Southern car. Even though it looks rusty, this isn't rusty at all. Now, this is original. I think the drums are fine. There shouldn't be any issue there. I can come in. There's a very small lip on the inside. I can clean that up, and we'll clean up the inside of the braking surface. The bearing races, no issue there. There's no grooves. There's no pitting or anything. So the front bearings have been replaced. They're Timken bearings. I doubt those were original, so we don't need to put bearings in it. That's good. The wheel cylinder, this one is leaking, so I'll replace that. They're cheap, and we'll put a new dust seal in it. Driver's side, wheel cylinder's leaking, bearings are good, drum's good. So same thing for this side, wheel cylinder and a dust seal. On the rear, master cylinders, or the wheel cylinders have been replaced, but this one's leaking. When I pulled this boot back, some fluid came out and there's rust in there, so I'll replace this one. Shoes look okay here. Adjusters are a little frozen. I can clean those up. Drum's okay. And on rear passenger side, this is the only wheel cylinder that isn't leaking, but they're, I think, 10 bucks a piece, so I might as well put a new one in this side as well so it doesn't start leaking 5 minutes after it's driven. But that looks like it. I don't think we need to do seals on the back. I don't see anything, any grease or anything coming out of those. So the back should be pretty easy. Just swap the wheel cylinders. And I will have to buy a new torque wrench. These are supposed to be to 200 and something foot-pounds, and the one I have goes up to 150. So I'll have to get a torque wrench there. But let's take a look at our rubber brake lines to see if those need to be replaced. All right, back in the front right, it looks pretty dried out and not real great up there. So we'll replace that. And I'm assuming the other side looks the same, so we'll just get 2 fronts. Those look easy to replace. Again, the metal brake line is perfect. There's no rust or anything on it. So those may have been replaced when they did the restoration back in '94. All right, now we're under the car in the rear right, and we can see this hose has been replaced. I took a look at the rear left, it looks the same, so I don't think we need to replace the back ones. Those probably were done when they did the restoration, and the wheel cylinder's back here. It's a pretty small parts list for the brakes, it looks like. So 4 wheel cylinders, front rubber hoses, front dust seals, and I think that's pretty much it. The rest of it's just cleaning up what's already here. Oh, and a master cylinder. I'll go ahead and order all the parts I need tonight. That'll take 3-4 days for everything to get here. So in the meantime, I'll go ahead and take the brake cleaner, clean up everything inside the rears. There's not too much to do on the rears. The front, I'll clean up everything inside here, but we've also got to clean up all of the wheel bearing grease in the drum and clean out all of the old wheel bearing grease that's in the bearings so I can repack them before it gets reassembled. So that'll save some time just doing it now. That didn't take very long. I've got all 4 corners cleaned up, ready for new parts. And we've got our front bearings on both sides cleaned up. There's no issues with these. We need to replace those. So we got all the old grease out of them. They'll be repacked before everything gets reassembled. So I guess order some parts and we'll pick this up when everything comes in. I think all of my supplies for the brakes have come in. I've got front wheel cylinders, rear wheel cylinders, brake shoes front and rear, a new piece of brake hose for under the car, master cylinder, flex hoses for the front, and new seals for the front. Everything should be here. I just need to, well, reassemble it. I need to repack the front wheel bearings. Got some paintwork going on here right now. And also I need to never seize the threads on the adjusters. Several of them were froze up. I got them loosened up, wire brushed, so they're all clean now. I just need to, like I said, put some anti-seize on them and put it back together. Going to start with the rear brakes. First thing we need to do is swap the parking brake arm onto the new set of shoes and then just put everything back together. I do have to put the wheels on it to torque the nut on the back. That needs to be 235 foot-pounds. So I got to put the wheels on it, set it on the ground to tighten that. I've got this corner done. I already did the driver's side, so the back is done. Everything is spinning nice and free. We'll tighten the nut when it's on the ground. Now let's move to the front. Now the driver corner is the most involved. If you remember, we need to replace the master cylinder. I've got a new one. It's just sitting in there right now. Yesterday, I came in and sprayed some black paint in here. I cleaned this up, sprayed inside the tub. I'm waiting for the seam sealer to dry before I do that, but I wanted to get in here done so I could get the master cylinder in. So we've got 2 lines from the reservoir. I need to replace the rubber hose, which I have here, and then two lines, front, back, and then the pressure switches here for the brake lights, which these plug into. So there's not a ton of room, but we'll get started with that first. All right, that wasn't too bad, didn't take too long. I would recommend, if you're doing this job, that you leave the master cylinder unbolted from the body until you get your brake line started. For some reason, the brake line thread is always really difficult to get started, so I'd recommend getting that started while it's loose and you can move it around. Same for the wheel cylinders. And for the rubber lines, they didn't originally have clamps on them, but I figured I don't want to have to do this again and take it apart and drain brake fluid everywhere, so we'll throw a couple clamps on there, so we should be good on the underside of the car. So now let's go ahead and do our driver's side drum brake. So we'll go ahead and get everything situated in here, the shoes, the brake line, the wheel cylinder. Make sure we anti-seize our adjusters, we'll get that stuff done, and then we can pack the bearings and get the drum on it. Got everything together and tightened down. Got the drum spinning nice and free. Now the replacement hose here, this has a much better design. You can see we've got pieces of hose on the outside to help stiffen it so it doesn't have such a sharp bend here. The ones that I took off, they were bent very sharply over here, and that's where they look pretty bad. So these should last a lot longer. So now next steps, I need to put the pedal cluster back in it, and then we got to bleed the brakes. And then once the brakes are bled, set the shoes. Then I've got to do I've got to torque the nut in the back, and then they should be done. Hopefully there are no leaks. Well, I was getting to the point where we were ready to do the brake bleeding, and I'm just not comfortable having two connections in this brake line that I repaired. So I'm gonna replace the whole brake line. There's a connection in the back here on top of the subframe, and then the one in the front on the master cylinder. I'm just gonna replace it. I've got some brake lines, so we'll make two flared ends. We'll use the factory nuts so that we know that that is correct. And I think that'll just make a nicer job. Obviously, if one of these start to leak and it's under the carpet, you'll never notice it until you run out of brake fluid for the rear brakes. And at least now, if something happens to leak, it'll drip on the ground underneath and you'll at least see a spot on the ground. I experimented for a little bit, and I've got the first end on here, and for the Beetles we need a bubble flare. I have a double flare kit here, and with a little bit of YouTube searching, if you just turn it over to the flat side, instead of using the side that's chamfered on the inside, if you turn it over to the flat side, you can create a double bubble. And that's what we have here. Looks like the factory one, so it should be fine. Now what I need to do, I need to match this curve probably about down to this flat section pretty accurately. This is the part that goes through the back of the car and into the T on top of the subframe. So I need to get this part right, and then like from there down I can unroll it in the car, but I need to get this bent correctly so I can get it into the car and get that at least started. Well, hopefully we're nearing the end of this brake job. I've gone ahead and bled the brakes. I didn't record that, but we bled the brakes. I've adjusted the brakes a couple times since it took so long to get all of the air out of the brakes. I had to pump them up several times and then adjust the drums and then bled it a couple more times just to make sure all of the air was out of the lines. So now I'll do one more adjustment on the drums, and then we'll have to test drive it at some point to make sure that everything's in adjustment. And then once it's on the ground, I can tighten the nuts on the rear to 250 something foot-pounds. Car needs to be on the ground for that. But so far, everything appears to be dry, knock on wood. Now to adjust, it's pretty simple. The little wheel that's inside, you just turn that until the shoe is against the drum, and then back it off 3 to 4 clicks. And that's how the book says to do it. All right, it's all back together. I've shoved it outside. Let's see if it'll actually start, since it's been sitting for a couple months. And we'll take it for a quick drive around the yard. Started pretty easily. Oh, it definitely drives a little easier without the brakes hung up. But I think we need a little more either bleeding or, oops. I think we need a little either brake bleeding or adjustment. I was not having good luck manually bleeding the brakes, so I went ahead and bought an adapter for my power bleeder that fits the reservoir, and I just finished power bleeding the brakes. I've got a nice firm pedal now. I've adjusted the brakes, so we should be good to take it for a little drive around the yard. Well, let's see if we've got brakes. It's running pretty decent. I need to adjust the clutch cable. I've got a big dead spot in it though. Ooh, those are pretty good. Yeah, pretty firm pedal. Seem pretty decent. Stopping pretty straight, at least up to 20 miles an hour. Now, it's braking well enough to lock up the wheels in the grass. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I guess with that, the brake job is done. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with other projects going on with the Beetle. I guess we still have a lot to do. So make sure you like and subscribe to keep up with the project.